Hi, let's talk about Neisseria meningitidis. Neisseria meningitidis is a species of the genus Neisseria. In general, this species is a gram-negative bacteria that contains thin layers of peptidoglycan and a high lipid content, hence the color pink. It is a diplococci shape and is oxidase and catalase positive, which means that it performs aerobic respiration. And finally, all bacteria in the Neisseria species metabolizes glucose. Now let's talk about its structure. Neisseria contains pili, which allows the bacteria to attach to the host cell, particularly on mucosal surfaces. It also allows for antigenic variation, which makes it difficult for antibodies to target and treat. Additionally, the Neisseria genus contains IgA protease, which allows it to remain undetected by the immunoglobulin A antibodies, commonly known as IgA for short. For this reason, it surpasses the body's usual defense mechanism and ultimately allows Neisseria for a better chance of survival within the host. The genus Neisseria is divided into two species, Neisseria meningitidis and Neisseria gonorrhea. However, we will only be focusing on Neisseria meningitidis for this video. But what is the difference? Let's compare. Neisseria meningitidis metabolizes glucose and maltose, while Neisseria gonorrhea only metabolizes glucose. Also, Neisseria meningitidis contains a polysaccharide capsule, which serves as a form of protection from the environment, including the host's immune system. It does this by inhibiting phagocytosis. The best way to explain this phenomenon is by picturing the process of going through airport security. Although Neisseria meningitidis is a foreign invader, he is unrecognized by immune cells, responsible for getting rid of foreign invaders such as bacteria. This is good for Neisseria meningitidis, but bad for the host, because it allows Neisseria meningitidis to get to its destination without interruption. I would also like to add that both species target humans as their host. Speaking of humans, let's talk about the disease caused by these two species. Neisseria meningitidis is known for causing the disease meningitis, while Neisseria gonorrhea is known for causing the sexually transmitted infection called gonorrhea. Let's focus on the disease meningitis. Meningitis originated from the word meninges, which is the name of the brain lining affected by this disease. Its suffix is itis, meaning inflammation. Putting this into definition, meningitis is an infection of the membranes called meninges that protect the spinal cord and the brain, causing it to swell and induce life-threatening problems. What about the demographics of meningitis? First, it is important to note that meningitis spreads through respiratory droplets. For instance, if a person with meningitis were to cough in a crowded place, more people would be at risk for getting the disease. According to the CDC, majority of meningitis patients are young people ranging from infants to young adults of age 23. Those who are more at risk of getting meningitis include people with C5 to C9 deficiencies because they lack a membrane attack complex, also known as MAC, which is supposed to help target pathogens. Second are people who have underwent a splenectomy or people without a spleen. And third are people with comorbidities such as sickle cell anemia because they are immunocompromised. The pathogenesis of meningitis is rather interesting. First, The infected respiratory droplets is passed on to the next host through the mouth or nose. Using its pili, it attaches to the nasopharyngeal cavity to invade the mucosal surface. Neisseria meningitis then uses its IgA protease to escape the IgA antibodies until it makes its way to the bloodstream, where it doubles every 30 minutes. With the help of their polysaccharide capsule, they are able to escape phagocytosis, so they continue to replicate until they reach the spinal cord and make their way to the brain. As the disease progresses, the patient may experience symptoms such as fever, headache, stiff neck, sensitivity to light, also known as photophobia, nausea and vomiting, and confusion. The consequences of meningitis are devastating. If left untreated, the mortality rate is 100%. However, if treated, the mortality rate decreases to 10%. Luckily, meningitis can be treated with antibiotics and steroids to reduce inflammation. Vaccines also exist for preventing meningitis and is often given to young people. That's all you need to know about Neisseria meningitidis. Thank you for watching.